And welcome to hashtag Grow Your Life live sessions. If you don't already, I go live every single morning, so make sure to plug in on Instagram and Facebook and watch this live sessions, as well as join the free Grow Your Life mentorship community where people are growing together. It's for networking and learning how to grow, increase your income and have more influence, increase value, create products, start businesses, whatever. That's what that is, for free, along with the podcast. Today, what I wanted to talk about is how to create value everywhere you go in life. And when you create value, profits follow, your goals follow, things like that. One of the first things I want to talk about is this as well, is that no amount of money that you can bring to yourself and make is going to make you happy. What you have to do is you have to make your happiness be your first goal before creating wealth, before you can then create value everywhere you go. If you are not happy, if you're not satisfied, if you're not grateful, it is almost impossible to create value everywhere you go, because then your lack of gratitude, your lack of happiness comes out, and it actually sucks value out of every situation that you're in. So when you're in a situation, you're not grateful, you're not happy, you're just not feeling satisfied with life, you're constantly seeking how you can get value instead of give and create it. And so flipping that paradigm of gratitude is where it comes from. I listened to a podcast yesterday, and I highly recommend it to you guys because it explains it way better than I could, from Ed Milet, and I'll summarize it for you. He said anywhere that you're not happy is an area that you are comparing your situation to either the past or present, the past, future, or somebody else's situation. And so your happiness is not there because of a lack of gratitude out of comparison to that. And even when, like, he used an extreme example, when somebody dies or when they're sick, we're still unhappy because we're comparing it to when they were healthy or alive, that situation, that moment. And so the lack of happiness comes out of comparison. When you remove comparison, unhappiness also disappears. And then you can use healthy comparison to drive you towards the future. Comparing your future of, when you're wealthy will drive you then towards getting there, when you're healthy, when you're fit, but not comparing yourself out of, unhappiness and ungratefulness. Having gratitude for your current situation then creates value because you're not comparing, you're not unhappy, and then you can start to create value and it flows out of that place. And so the next part of that is this, and this is why I wasn't going to dive into the whole happiness concept of this. I want to talk about creating value everywhere you go. Once you make happiness your goal, and I'm going to dive into that more in the future here, and you stop comparing, you make gratitude, everything in your day, everything in your life comes out of a place of gratitude, gratefulness. I have gratitude that I'm in this situation. I have gratitude that everything in my life is going perfectly and I'm moving towards my goals instead of comparing to my past, comparing to where I came from. And in that, you can then create value that flows out of the overflow of that gratitude. And so in that, you're grateful for this, that, and you want to share it with people. And so then what you do is you just start giving everywhere you go. You start giving gratitude. You start giving happiness. You start giving hope. And when you have hope and you give that and you declare it coming out of what's inside of you, you're then creating value as you go places. Now let's make this really practical. When you are in a situation, in a business setting, you're on social media, you are talking to somebody in a conversation, any sort of interaction with somebody is an opportunity to create and give value instead of just taking. And it comes from a place of this: how can I contribute to this situation and make it better than when I arrived here? So in moments, in time is a construct that we use to get from point A to point B, and we compare present to past. So this is still part of that comparison thing. But if we can look at into the future, how can I contribute what is not here in this present moment from what's inside of me out of a state of gratitude, gratefulness, and happiness, and then wisdom and knowledge, and then as we acquire knowledge, passing it on as well, we're able to create and add value to each situation that we're in our life. So for instance, when you're delivering on social media, when you're making content, when you're creating products, when you're developing, when you're manufacturing, the whole goal is to create value in the lives, the people who have committed 5-10 minutes of their day to watching you on social media, or 1 minute to watching a video, to engaging with you. How can you contribute and add value to their life in that moment? When you're creating a product, how can you make the lives of your customers who are buying your product better? When you're doing a consulting service, how can I make sure that the person who pays me is getting 100 times what they paid me out of that hour that we spent together? When I'm having a conversation with somebody, how can I contribute to that conversation, their situation? How can I solve problems? And as a leader, that's what we need to do, is how can we come alongside people and solve problems and contribute value everywhere we're going? You see, so often people are looking to get value. And so to be a leader, you have to be someone who positions yourself on your own, not because somebody put you there, but because of a choice of your own to give value everywhere you go. Instead of lack, it's abundance. It's you almost look like you look like, whether you are or not, I'm a billionaire that is giving value everywhere I go. I'm giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to people everywhere I go. And in that, it could just be words that you're saying. It could just be a smile. A smile to somebody could be worth to them more than you could ever calculate in monetary value in that. And so what I want to encourage you is, in your interactions, in your situations, first, making happiness and gratitude a goal. Stopping the comparison game. And I really recommend going and listening to Ed Milet's podcast, the most latest one he did. Gratitude. And then in each situation, how can I contribute and make this present moment of higher value after I leave that moment than when I arrived at it? And in that, you create value everywhere you go in every situation. And when your interactions come out of that place, the overflow of you creating value in that situation then is monetary value that then comes back to you when it makes sense, when it's financially makes sense. People are willing to contribute. In a startup business, contributing to a co-founder, being there for their time, and the value they contribute is a percentage of the company. When you're working a job, the value you contribute is the work, the time that you spend, and you get a paycheck. When you are a CEO or a business owner, the value you contribute to your customers and your employees comes back to you in dividends. So in that, creating value, that's monetary value. But do not make monetary value your only goal. Instead, your main number one goal is this: how can I, out of the overflow of my gratitude and happiness, without ever expecting to get anything out of this situation? And I'm not talking about letting people walk all over you, use you, or abuse you in any way, but rather out of honor and respect, giving honor, contribute value to every moment and situation that you have, and in relationships as well. Relationships thrive when we contribute value. We give so much more than we take out of it. And then in that, when you're in a healthy relationship, you're both giving and growing each other and raising each other up in friendship, in relationship, in this. And when your whole mission is, how can I give value in every moment that I'm in? You can't even compare the before and after. Comparison has no place in that moment, because you're happy, you're not comparing, and now you're giving value. You can't even mentally comprehend thinking about complaining and being ungrateful in that moment. And then in that, you receive happiness, which happiness is worth far more than money ever will be. And then out of that, you create value, and then finances come in as well as like the third level. So the first level is gratitude. The second level is happiness. The third level is creating value. And then the fourth level is, once you do those things, then the finances come in. So when a lot of people, they're looking to create financial wealth for themselves, but they're ungrateful, they're unhappy, and they're not contributing value, that's going to be very difficult. And that's where, ethics come in. People do unethical things in that place to get money. You're going to create more value for yourself, be more happy, more finances for yourself, just by making your goal gratefulness, happiness, and then contributing value in each moment, each situation that you're in, being present in those moments every single day, and then walking out that with gratitude, and then looking at how can I pile value on in every moment that I'm in business, in relationships, spirituality, in worship. When we're in worship, with God, we are lifting our voices, praising. It's not what can I get, but it's what can I send up. And then in that, it's a communication. And that's what communication is. Communication is back and forth, value being contributed back and forth. And when we make this our focus, that's where limitless possibilities come in. So I hope this encourages you. I hope you can really see how just shifting this paradigm is going to change your life and change the world around you and increase your influence. And so follow my page. The Grow Your Life community is where we're doing this together with people, a community of people growing, contributing value to each other. I'm creating the podcast, contributing value. It's free. It's a group on my page. Can't wait to see you there and contribute value to your life and that. So have a good one, everybody, and we'll talk soon. How do I stop this? There we go.